Jansen Junk getting ready for his first start back from the injured list. It's crazy to think that the Marlins have put together the run that they have, considering the amount of injuries they've actually dealt with in that pitching staff. I'm Jeremy Taché here at Lone Depot Park, getting you ready for what could be a sweep for the Miami Marlins over the Mariners, and that's just another win in a run of wins. The best team in baseball since June 1st went from 8 under to the thick of it in the postseason picture. Take a look here. On your left, you see it. 3.5 games back of first place in the NL East. Presently today, they would be a wild card team as they have the exact same record as the Philadelphia Phillies. We spoke to Clayton McCullough, and he told us why they've been able to do it.
We're still playing good baseball. I think that's what we've done. We're pitching so much better. I mean, we've cut down walk rate. Our defense has improved. Offensively, we talked about Kyle Stowers a lot recently, as we should. He's had a really phenomenal last 5 or 6 weeks, and you get Kyle going like he has with the others that have been really mainstays and performing in this first half, along with what Owen's done and Alberto. So our lineup feels like it's longer now, and we're scoring in different kind of ways. So I think that the continuation is more just we've continued to play a much better brand than we did for the majority of May.
This Marlins team continues to play that brand of baseball right here tonight. Kyle Stowers leading the way. Let's party, fight, and fish. That's what they say. That's what we'll say. Stay tuned here on Marlins.tv.
Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV is presented by Werner Hoffman, Gregg and Garcia, the official law firm of the Miami Marlins, by FPL, and by UHealth, pushing medicine forward. Jansen Junk is back after missing the last 6 weeks on the injured list with a right shin bone inflammation issue. Game 3 between the Marlins and the Mariners tonight as we get a look at the Mariners starting lineup, brought to you by FPL. Tell you what, the Seattle Mariners came into Miami feeling really good. They had a 5-1 homestand. They had won 5 of 6. They have received a little bit of whiplash as Jansen Junk's first pitch in his first start back misses inside on J.P. Crawford, who's 4 for his last 29 at the plate. Another series sweep on the line for the Fish tonight as Crawford takes a slider for strike 1.
Yeah, I think you certainly have to put that in your head. And when you win the first 2 games of a series, 3-game series, got to go for it.
When the Marlins have had an opportunity to sweep this season, they are 6-1. And I have to say myself, I think that's a pretty good mark because they have said for so long how it's just so darn hard to sweep teams. And the Marlins have been pretty good in that department. Clayton McCullough's ball club is 51-42. And exactly 1 month ago, they were 14 games back of Atlanta in the National League East as the changeup misses the J.P. Crawford. And coming into the ball game, and Jeremy was just talking about the standings. It's amazing that 1 month ago they were 14 games back in the division. They played tonight 3 back, and they're also 2 games clear of a playoff line.
I think it just goes to show you how quickly things can change.
When you start believing everybody else does, Marlins playing good baseball, but Jansen Junk has walked the leadoff man. All right, Hutt, let's take a look at the Doral Kia defense behind Jansen.
All right, we'll check it out. Behind Jansen in left field, you get Griffin Conine, Jacob Marcy, and Estuary Ruiz in the outfield. Otto and X up the middle. Leo and Kyle on the corners, and Liam Hicks does the catching tonight.
Here is Randy Arozarena after the leadoff walk to J.P. Crawford. Arozarena really one of the only Mariners going good right now. He's batting a little over 300 in his last 12 games. 2 for 7 in the series with a walk. Takes a big healthy hack. 1 ball, 1 strike on Randy.
Yeah, right now he's one of the few that's hit well with runners in scoring position. That's really been an issue for Seattle in this series.
Marlins pitching has been so good. They banked their 8th shutout victory of the season last night, and I was scrolling back through my scorebook this morning, just taking a look at how things ended last night. How about Miami pitching? Retired 16 of the final 17 batters in Game 2. Tyler Phillips collected his second win of the season as Arozarena takes inside for ball 2.
Yeah, I think Clayton's going to have to be creative with his bullpen tonight.
Very.
He's got a few guys that he might not want to use.
This has the feeling of one of those piggyback situations, right? Now the count 3-1 on Arozarena. There's Dan Wilson, the skipper for the Mariners. They're 47 and 46, hanging on for dear life out there in the American League West. But with Ryan Gusto back, this one certainly feels like it could be a Junk Gusto piggyback situation. See how much you get out of those two. There's ball 4.
Well, it's certainly out of character right now for Jansen Junk. Back-to-back walks. He is usually in the strike zone in his 60 innings. Coming into tonight, just 13 walks and 43 strikeouts. Yeah, the cafecito might need that tonight.
And Liam Hicks out there having a conversation with Jansen, who's making his 12th start of the season, his second career start against Seattle.
Yeah, I was just looking too for Liam, because we haven't seen him behind the plate as much ever since the arrival of Joe Mack. So for Liam, he has started. This is his 29th start behind the plate.
And as you mentioned, with the Marlins carrying 3 catchers, Liam has not seen a whole lot of time behind the plate at all in recent weeks. Last time he caught before tonight, July 3rd. Before that, June 19th. So it's been a while for Liam.
That'll fool a lot of hitters, by the way, as Joe Mack looks on. You have the visit to the mound after a couple of walks. You're thinking heater as a hitter, and he saw a first pitch curveball.
Here is Dominic Canzone, and he bounces one out to short. Otto's got it, steps on the bag, lobs it to first. In time double play. Boy, if that doesn't settle Jansen Junk down, I don't know what will. And let's take a look at our Doral Kia double play.
Otto Lopez made this look so easy, but the changeup gets Canzone on top. But Otto charges and kind of gets a short hop right near the bag. So he's dealing with the bag, gets a short hop, catches, steps on the bag, and he made that look easy. And trust me, that was not an easy play.
That ball bounced maybe a foot in front of the bag at second as Cal Rowley hits one foul. You hesitate for a second because you can see it slowly developing, how tough that's going to be for Otto. Boy, that was flawless out there at shortstop. So here's Rowley, who's 3 for 9 in the series with a couple of doubles and an RBI. He has matched a season high by hitting in 4 straight. Still a rough year for the big dumper, batting $170 as he takes strike 2.
Yeah, we were commenting, you and I, before the game, not too many lineups have the big dumper and big thunder.
Yeah, right.
Rayleigh's nickname.
You know, I know it's only the first inning, Hunt, but I'm sure the Mariners possibly feeling like, boy, here we go again, opportunities, and they're nowhere to be found.
Well, we mentioned that Arozarena is their best at it, but in this series, Dan Wilson's ball club 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position.
Marlins 15-2 in their last 17 home games. They've won 6 straight home series. Swing and a miss. Jansen Junk walks a pair to start it, but he finishes it by retiring a couple. Gets a double play, no score after a half inning at Lone Depot Park.
I'm Jay.
Marlins TV is presented by Warner Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. A lot of action out there on the beach. A lot of action inside of Lone Depot Park. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Clayton McCullough's Miami Marlins tonight. They're 51-42. They're 30-17 at home. There is the starting lineup, brought to you by Warner Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Marlins got all they needed last night. Just a couple of runs. Could have had more. 8 hits. Left 4 men on base. It was good enough for a good pitching staff. On the mound for the Mariners tonight, it is the 27-year-old Texas A&M Aggie, Bryce Miller, making his 10th appearance and 9th start of the year. A 1.71 ERA. This is a relentless Seattle Mariners starting staff. Features 6 guys, and all of them are really good. Liam Hicks will lead things off. He's hacking away at the first one he sees, and he pops it in the air behind the mound. J.P. Crawford's got it, 1 away.
Let's give you the scouting report on the 27-year-old right-hander. Talked about the nature of throwing strikes. He's faced 96 consecutive batters now without walking anybody, so be ready. We'll see a lot of first pitch swinging. He got the late start because he was on the injured list, had an oblique injury. Coming off of June with a 2.19 ERA in the month.
Second batter of the ball game for the Marlins will be Otto Lopez, who has 10 multi-hit efforts in his last 14 games. In the batting average race, now 21 points ahead of Luis Arraez as Lopez lays off a fastball for ball 1. Otto batting .345 with an .893 OPS in 91 games this season. He's got 126 hits before the All-Star break. Looking for his 127th, which will be the most in Marlins history before the All-Star break. And he's tied with Louis. Castillo Arraez.
J.P. Hanley, D. Strange Gordon on that list.
Good names. 2-0 in there for strike one.
The other thing I like about Otto and Xavier. Xavier Edwards has not missed a game. He's played all 93. This being game number 94. Otto's played 91, and he was he probably didn't want to sit in Denver, but he had that one game where he did.
Yeah.
So these guys have stayed healthy. As they like to say, they've posted just about every game.
And an alarming situation here for Bryce Miller, who's only walked 5 batters in 52 2/3 innings this season. He's behind at the count 3-1, and he walked him. There's ball 4. Well, you never see that from Bryce Miller. He has issued a 1-out free pass here in the bottom of the first. And while we have a moment, StatCast is brought to you by Google Cloud. Here's the pitch arsenal for Miller.
Yeah, he stays with 4-seamers and splitters. He'll mix in a little bit of everything else: slider, sweeper, cutter, knuckle curve, and sinker. But 4-seamer and splitter, that's his go-to. Look at the splitter hitters hitting .098 against it.
Here is Edwards.
So, by the way, that breaks his string of 96 consecutive hitters.
How about that?
Which he had not walked one.
Speaking of walks, this was the first time this season Marlins playing their 94th game they walked the first 2 opponents of the game. How about Jansen Junk got out of it unscathed in the top of the first as Edwards bounces one high in the air. Miller's got it, lobs it to first. High, he's safe. First and second, 1 out. Little hustle goes a long way.
When you run hard and you have some guys who have a little speed, that always puts more pressure on the defense. Now, this is not an easy play. Bryce Miller knows it's not going to be easy. He picked it okay, but in the transfer probably didn't have a good grip and took Naylor way off the bag.
Look at X watching him.
X is saying, I got this. I got this. Yeah, you do.
That is an error. The 47th of the season committed by the Mariners. Here's Kyle Stowers. Swing and a pop foul. Stowers batting .244. He's homered 4 times in his last 4 games. Did that little piece on Kyle in the open. Again, he's gotten scorching hot since June, and he's got a .959 OPS since the start of June. See if he can cash in early for the Marlins. Nothing in 2, but I'll tell you what, those first 2 swings by Kyle Stowers, he was not getting cheated.
Well, he certainly knows the scouting report. Strikes, be aggressive, and he has been on those 2 swings.
Bryce Miller making his 3rd career start against the Marlins, his first this season. And Stowers flies this one high in the air, shallow right center. All over it is Raley. There's 2 away.
Yeah, that time he got the splitter, was a little bit out in front. What's the defense look like tonight for the Seattle Mariners, the M's? You're looking at a same image you've seen the last 2 games, every game this series. Robles, Rosarena, Raley, Emerson, Young, the 2 youngsters up the middle, Crawford and Naylor at the corners, and Cal Raleigh catching all 3 games.
You know, they often say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of broke for Dan Wilson, not really, but he doesn't really have too many places to turn to either. So it's been the same starting 9, same spots in the batting order in all 3 games now for the Mariners. Here's Heriberto Hernandez. He's got an OPS over 1,000 in his last 28 games, does Burt. 2 for 5 in the series, a double, a homer, tied for second on the team in homers with 12, which feels notable after spending some time down there on the farm in the minor leagues. Swinging a fly ball in the air to left field. He just got that fastball off the end of the bat. Rosarena settles underneath it, and the Marlins come up empty here in the first.
At FP.
Esta transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Well, if you're in the area, make sure you stop by Little Havana's Visitor Center. I'm sure they've got some flyers in there for Lone Depot Park. Come over here, just a little short trip down the road, a couple of blocks down the road, and join us for some baseball. You can do so the rest of the week. Josh Naylor leads off the second inning in a scoreless game. Naylor's hitting 4 straight, but batting just 167 over his last 6 games. 2 for 8 in the series is Josh, the former first-round draft pick by Miami. Who punches this out behind third? Here comes Otto. Nobody's going to get that. I don't know if you could have gone out there and dropped the ball there any better.
Not sure that I've ever seen a base hit quite like that.
Jeez.
With Otto playing way over and Sanoja not able to get there, this ball just fisted off the knuckles. Didn't reach the outfield and still found dirt between Leo Jimenez and Otto.
Kind of crazy. Not many little pop-ups with that kind of hang time. Turned into a base hit, but the Mariners do have their first of the ball game, and here is Luke Raley. Liam Hicks having an issue behind the plate. Give us a moment to tell you our home plate umpire tonight. You see there is Eric Backus. Crew chief Laz Diaz at third, Chris Siegels at second, Brian O'Nor is at first. Liam Hicks thought the issues were minor, and they're becoming more major.
Yeah, it's amazing. You got to really be careful with Naylor over at first base. He doesn't look like he's going to steal a lot of bases, but he has 16 this year. He's only been thrown out 3 times. Last year, Josh Naylor was 19 out of 19 in stolen bases. So he knows how to run the bases. He's smart. He knows when to get a good jump.
He also made history last year by becoming just the 3rd primary first baseman ever to record a 20-plus home run, 30-plus stolen base season. Naylor has 71 career stolen bases. So a lot of these stolen bases for a guy that's playing in his 8th season have come in the last few years. I guess maybe as you become more of a veteran in the game, you learn how to run the bases a bit better. So Naylor at first with nobody out, and after the pitch-com issue for Liam Hicks, Junk misses down low on Raley with a curveball for ball 1. Luke Raley batting .230. Tied for the team lead in homers with 14. He's got 36 batted in. He's 2 for 7 in the series with a double. Junk's 1-0 is a fastball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Luke Raley.
You know, aside from Jansen's very first start, he then went 10 consecutive starts of 5 or more innings. So you don't expect him to go deep in games, but he was utilized very well, and he gave the ball club what you needed. Good changeup.
You know what was so odd about that start in Toronto that we noted earlier too? It was a good one, and then we got to New York, and a couple of days later, and Liam Hicks is going to challenge us. He hasn't been catching a whole lot, so he doesn't have those old eyes behind the plate right now. But we'll see if Liam got this one right. ABS powered by T-Mobile, and the Marlins lose an early challenge. I think that stuff matters. The more you catch, if he had been catching regularly, that might not be one he challenges.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, with Junk, we got to New York, and a couple of days after a really good start in Toronto, it comes out that he's going to the IL. Everybody's like, why? You know, everything looked good. I mean, arm's fine. It was that shin issue. 2-2 got him anyway. Good sweeper, second strikeout of the ball game for Junk.
Yeah, because he went 5 innings in that game in Toronto, gave up a couple of runs, that's all. Good breaking ball. Down and in to a strong hitter, Luke Raley, to get the strikeout.
I'll be curious to see, too, how much he has to kind of fight through this one tonight. What I mean by that is most starting pitchers, when they come off the injured list, don't just go out there, fire 7 shutout innings on 75 pitches. A lot of guys, you got to feel the mound again. You got to get back into that competitive nature. He walked the first 2 in the first, got his double play, got out of it, allows the leadoff single here in the second. Here's Cole Young with one away. Young's got 10 homers. He's got some sneaky pop. There goes Naylor. He got a great jump.
No way. See, again, that goes back to what we were talking about. He's bright. He's alert. He knows when to get jumps.
And he's learned this more and more over the years. Pick their pocket. 17th stolen base of the season for Naylor. Runner in scoring position. Oh, he takes off for third. Now they got him hung up, and Junk throws it away. Threw it right down the left field line. Naylor's going to score. They had him. 1-0 Seattle. Had him dead to rights. Naylor even stopped halfway between second and third.
That's when you have to set yourself. His feet were not set at all. He just tried to flip that ball. He took his time, but see how his feet were kind of flat-footed? You got to get your feet going like an infielder. Set yourself, you had plenty of time, and make a good throw. Flat-footed, you throw it away, and a run comes in to score.
Fastball misses inside on Young, 2-1. So that is how the ice is broken in this one here early. And Josh Naylor manufactures a run all by his lonesome. Downstairs for ball 3.
You talked about the things that Jansen Junk, making his first start in quite some time at the big league level. There's also, not only is there's the physical things that go along with it, there are the mental things that go along with it too.
Check swing, he did not go. Already the 3rd walk issued by Jansen Junk, who had walked 13 in 60 innings coming into what is his 12th start of the season tonight. Well, make sure you score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Marlins, the official source for all of your Marlins gear. Get the teal. Avianato certainly wear the teal nicely. So too does Sandy and Yuri.
Get some all-star teal with your all-star favorites.
Imagine if Otto went to the all-star game in the teal top. Probably won't do that. I'm sure it'll be his whites. Hey, let me ask you this. Number one, how many times were you on the injured list in your career?
None at the major league level. 2 times that I remember in the minor leagues.
I only ask. You'll still be able to answer it. Obviously a little different for a position player. But how fast do you think the game is right now for Jansen?
Oh, it's sped up. But he took time on that. He just didn't get the right timing with his feet and get himself set.
Here is Victor Robles. He takes a fastball for a called strike on the outside corner. Robles 0 for 5 with a walk in the series. And in his last 26 games, he is a 194 hitter. Slaps that foul off to the right, nothing in 2.
The other thing, too, when you're a pitcher, even if you've been out there consistently every 4th, 5th day, and you make a mistake like that, you have to get yourself back in the game. And it's even harder, I'm sure, for Jansen right now because he hasn't been out there for a while.
Probably totally kicking himself. Boy, he threw another one away. It's just ugly here for Jansen. And Young doesn't just want second, he wants third. That's the second 2-base error of the inning by Jansen Junk.
When Clayton got the book out today to map out a little bit of a game plan, I guarantee 2 errors from his pitcher were not in the mix. So you have to think part of it right now is mental. He's got himself thinking about a whole lot of things. Now he's got to make some pitches.
Right. Well, the Mariners on the verge of making this a 2-0 game. Let me make one correction. Even though Josh Naylor stopped between second and third, that still does go down as a stolen base in an E1, allowing him to score. Not a strict 2-base error. Stolen base in an E1. Yeah, there is strike 3 on the outside corner. That's a strikeout Jansen Junk desperately needed. That's his 3rd here in the early going. Let's see if he can get out of this second inning and limit the damage.
I guess nice movement on that pitch. Good 2-seamer, kind of came back, just caught the outside corner.
So 3 strikeouts, 1 on the slider, 1 on the sweeper, now 1 on the changeup. And here is Colt Emerson, who takes ball 1. Told you earlier, why do I want to keep calling him Scott Emerson? It's because when we were just in Sacramento, Scott Emerson was the pitching coach for the A's. Not Scott, this is Colt playing in his 44th major league game tonight. And he holds his swing on a slider. Now, 5 of Seattle's last 6 games have been a shutout. 3 Mariners wins and 2 losses. Oh.
I have to think the throwing errors have affected Jansen Junk at this point.
I would agree with you there. Jansen Junk had never committed an error in the major leagues before tonight. He's committed 2 in 1 inning.
We don't have time, and I will not get into it because there are 2 out. But I saw a great pitcher, Tommy John, make 3 errors on 1 play.
Really? There's ball 4. Jansen Junk has walked 4 the first time through the order. The most he had ever walked the first time through the order previously in his career was 2.
Yet he's 1 out away of just allowing the 1 run and keeping it a 1-0 game.
It's crazy. "16 pitches in the first, 21 so far here in the second." Runner takes off from first. Hicks will throw through. Pretty good throw, but he's safe. 3rd career stolen base for Emerson. And no challenge.
Still a pretty good throw by Liam Hicks, who hasn't been back there, as we've talked about, for a while. But Emerson just got the hand on the bat.
Have to wonder if the Mariners saw the lineup card today and said maybe we can take some liberties on the catching situation. We know Joe Mack, ground ball up the middle. It hits Junk. It deflects right to Edwards. A fortunate hop, a fortunate bounce. It's 1-0 Seattle. Listen. And back here at Lone Depot Park on this Thursday night in Miami, where the Marlins are trying to Sweep the Seattle Mariners, but they trail 1-0. And the Marlins will try for their 19th comeback of the season. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. That's Tommy Hutton. I'm Kyle Seeloff, and we are joined by the Miami Marlins President of Business, Caroline O'Connor. Caroline, what, is this time number 2 in the booth this year?
This is, yeah.
I think we had a pretty quick inning the last time.
I think we did.
I'll try to keep up.
Griffin Conine, high fly ball deep to right field. Raley is back. Warning track. Walk on! And Griffin Conine ties the ball game at 1 here in the second.
Stay around here, Caroline. Stay around. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, it's amazing how this game goes. All the activity that the Mariners had, the couple of errors, the 4 walks, all that, it's just been erased on one swing. It's 1-1.
4th home run of the season for Griffin Conine. And that was a fastball that had a lot of the plate, Hut, and that's a big, strong young man right there.
Well, again, we talked about aggressiveness tonight from the Marlins hitters because of the fact that Miller's around the plate.
There's another look.
Turn on it. Inside heat.
You know, Griff's going to get a lot of run here, too, with Owen Casey being out. And that's a really nice start for Conine. Sure Dad's happy. Esteri Ruiz flies one in the air to right. We do promise Caroline is still with us. We have a lot to discuss. But first, that was a Marlins home run for healthcare brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. Okay, a couple of minutes later, let's come back inside the broadcast booth. That was
try it
rude.
again.
That was a welcome, rude greeting there by Griffin Conine. But Caroline, what's been the most exciting part of the first half?
Oh boy, this team, huh? It's been so fun to watch, and we're so proud of everything that, Bruce, Peter, Clayton, the entire coaching staff, and our players, the great leadership out there and teamwork. It's been so fun to watch. Our fans are excited, the members are excited, and it's been a really fun first half.
You bring that up. What's been the feedback from fans about the way things have gone?
Oh, so happy, ton of energy. We're downstairs last night, the night before when Bert hit his home run to tie it up, and fans were going nuts.
And now an opposite field base hit for Jacob Marcy. He had a 4-game hitting streak snapped last night, but he's back into the hit column here tonight. I don't know if you feel the same way, Caroline, but we were talking about this a little bit on Tuesday. The ball club has been playing so well. A lot of history actually being made. A 7-3 road trip. I felt like even Tuesday some fans started to take notice that fans were on their feet late in the game. There was a buzz. Do you feel that? Does the front office feel that as well, I wonder? Oh, yeah. We feel it in the office. We've got our TVs, and we put up the highlights the morning after, and everybody's excited. And you'll see the staff will be out here cheering the team on. A lot of them bring their families out, and we love to see that. But, yeah, we're all fans, and we're really excited about this ride that we've been on with the team. I don't know if fans need to be implored, and a lot of encouraging needs to be made, but what would you tell the folks out there in the South Florida community that are thinking about buying a ticket to come out and watch these Marlins as Leo Jimenez flies out to right? Yeah, I would say thank you to all the fans that have supported us, both coming out to the ballpark or watching Marlins.tv. We really appreciate it, and the players just appreciate it. It means so much to them. So we appreciate the fans, and we hope everybody can make it out to the ballpark or watch us on Marlins.tv. We've got a great environment here, and we're having a lot of fun. Tell us quickly, because with 2 out, how involved the ball club has gotten with the efforts in Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuelan community is very close to us, and we really, our hearts are with the people there and our community members. This week we were out at the gem warehouses out in Doral, and so we were out there with Javi and Otto, Clayton and his family, really making a delivery on behalf of the Marlins, our ownership, our fans brought supplies to the gates, and a lot of our partners helped out as well. So Pepsi and Kellanova, Lone Depot was in it with us too, and Goya donating 20,000 pounds of food. So it was great, and we'll continue going out there. Today is the final day that we're taking collection at the gates, but we'll continue to help out with that, and then we'll have our Venezuelan Unity celebration on July 25th and do it again and do another fundraiser then. Liam Hicks waits on the 0-1 offering. By no means do I want to undersell Javier Sanoja, who's been integral in all of this, and your heart breaks for the kid, especially after what we saw in St. Louis. But I think about you guys out in the community the other day. How about Otto Lopez being an all-star through and through, literally on the field and off of it? I'm sure that meant a lot to you, Mr. Sherman, the entire ball club, to see Otto out there helping as well.
Yeah, so proud of Otto. And just there's so many great guys on the team, really great in the community and great on the field and great teammates. So I know it was a hard decision, and Clayton said it well. You know, he was given that speech in the clubhouse, and so many people were kind of in the running, so they were waiting as, you know, he clarified who it was. But, you know, it's a great honor to have players like this to be alongside us, and, you know, they're great. They raised their hand to help out, and that means a lot. It means a lot to our community.
That is a fair ball. It stayed fair inside the bag at first. Here comes Jacob Marcy motoring around third. He's going to score, and the Marlins lead 2-1. I'm sure you have work to do, Caroline. You may not be allowed to leave the booth here tonight. A two-out RBI double.
Got a couple of runs. How about this swing of Liam Hicks? You put him behind the plate as a catcher, and he still swings the bat, gets it over the head of Naylor. And then with Marcy at first, you had a really good idea that he was going to be able to score. He picks up Blake Lally as he comes around third and is able to score easily. And just like that, Marlins take a 2-1 lead.
And now they've got the all-star Otto Lopez coming to the plate. A homer by Conine to kickstart the second. A one-out single by Marcy, a two-out double by Hicks. Here's Otto Lopez. I'm sure there's a lot of fans. It's unbelievable to say, as you feel like you kind of start to head down the home stretch here in 2026. Long way to go and a lot of fun baseball left. A lot of people might be thinking now, well, I guess I can't become a season ticket member now. There's no way. But that's not true. How can people get involved here?
There's always a way.
There's a will, there's a way.
So we love our members. You know, they get first access to everything in the ballpark, great discounts, and then also hopefully first access to the first postseason game in Lone Depot Park history. So we're really excited about the second half and what that could bring. But yeah, marlins.com/memberships. We have a lot of information there, and we have great reps that really, you know, reach out and help their clients get into games and make it really easy for them to enjoy everything here at Lone Depot Park. We got our member selfie day coming at the end of the month, so that's always a favorite.
And a ground ball to second. I guess you got to go, Caroline. You are very busy, but we can't thank you enough for the time.
Thanks for the runs.
Thanks for having me.
You get us a pair of runs. The Marlins lead 2-1 after 2, and you're free to come by anytime. We'll chat with you soon.
Thanks, Caroline.
We'll go to the third. Good guys leading 2-1. The fight. Welcome back to Lone Depot Park. Our score is presented by Werner Hoffman, Greg Garcia. As we go to the top of the third, the Marlins have a 2-1 lead over the Mariners. How about Miami? A couple of runs. They do it on 3 hits. A triple shy of the cycle there in the second inning, but nice little uplift and a big old bomb there by Conine to get things started.
Yeah, that got it going well, and I just love the approach the Marlins have had against Bryce Miller, a guy who strikes out more than a guy an inning. Marlins are putting the ball in play. No strikeouts. They're making contact. They're being aggressive.
So here's a Randy Arozarena to lead things off, and that splitter nearly came back over the outside corner. It did not. You think a couple of runs could help Johnson Junk settle down a little bit, huh?
I would hope so, yeah, because I'm sure that Clayton and his staff would like to see at least 4. They'd love 5 innings, but at least 4 innings out of Jansen.
Right.
I'm sure he'd like to see that himself. But as we say that, Will Kempner starts to get loose.
He could be a bridge to a Ryan Gusto tonight, potentially. And Arozarena takes a changeup for strike 1. If you see Kempner early in this game, that really amounts to a true bullpen game. Arozarena walked in the first. Yeah, the 2-1 has popped a mile high off to the right side of the infield. Kyle Stowers is coming over with room. He's got it. There's one away. And with more on Kyle Stowers, we go downstairs and say hello to the third member of our crew, Jeremy Taché.
Thanks, guys. Well, you just saw Kyle make a play over at first base. He's only played about 20 games over there, but looks comfortable. And he told me that as he's made his transition over to first base, he's leaned on the mentality of his college coach at Stanford, David Esker, which was simply as a first baseman, if you miss a pick, whether you should have had it or not, you say, my bad. You want to make your infielders feel like they don't have to make a perfect throw, and he wants to make them feel comfortable despite his inexperience. He told me that he's asked Clayton McCullough, Carson Vitale, and infield coach Blake Butler, hey, coach me hard. because he wants to get better over there and give guys like Griffin Conine an opportunity to play the corner outfield spot. We saw Conine homer already. It shouldn't be surprising. This fits Stowers' character.
Here is Dominic Canzone. It's been a real treat to watch, Kyle. Again, we've talked about it at length, just looking very, very natural over there. And just a real solid fit. If he keeps that up, he's just going to be the long-term first baseman here.
Yeah, no question about it.
1-1 to Canzone. Broke his bat, lifts it softly out to center and a base hit. 1 out single for the Mariners. And now a message from FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
Here is Cal Raleigh, who was Jansen Junk's first strikeout victim of the ball game in the first.
So you think of the 2 hits that Seattle has gotten, the broken bat base hit there by Canzone, and then that bloop off the bat of Naylor that didn't find the outfield.
That ball is cleared for landing, and Edwards will let it drop. And that is a very heads-up baseball play. He tosses it to second, and that erases a little bit more speed at first in Canzone. So now Raleigh's at first. And it's such a little heads-up baseball play that might go unnoticed right now, but you just don't know if it's one of those things at the end of the ball game you talk about.
Yeah, because we've seen how the Mariners have been aggressive, more aggressive tonight on the bases. And so Xavier knows Canzone runs a little bit better than Cal Raleigh. So who would you rather have at first? Cal Raleigh.
Liam Hicks is going to challenge this last call. Look at the guys at first. Well, what are you going to do? ABS powered by T-Mobile, and boy, that's a ball. Look at the expression on Liam Hicks's face. And with 2 out in the top of the third, the Marlins will have to play without challenges for the rest of this game.
Yeah, Liam a little rusty in the challenges because a good point you mentioned. He hasn't been back there a lot.
Not a whole lot. Your eyes have to stay very, very sharp doing that stuff. So here's the 1-0 on Naylor, and he takes that in there for a strike. So hot, as they say, they're going to have to do this one the old-fashioned way tonight and rely on Eric Bacchus to be really good behind the plate, help him out when need be.
And you know that Liam's as upset as anybody.
Sure. Probably sitting back there feeling like he's cost this team.
Yeah.
1-1 misses up and away. Raleigh at first with 2 outs. That's carved foul. 2-2 on Naylor. A relatively uneventful first, I think you could say, for Jansen. He allowed the run. Kind of brought that upon himself there in the second with 2 errors. 1 out single here in the third. That's erased on the fielder's choice. 2 out, 2-2 the count on Naylor. Deuces are wild.
Talked about it last night with Naylor. This is how he tries to work the pitch clock in his favor.
And speaking of doing it the old-fashioned way, the no batting gloves look. Moises Alou.
Hey, he's Canadian.
Right.
Doesn't need batting gloves.
Probably chopped wood when he was younger without gloves on in the wintertime. Bouncing ball up the middle. It eludes the bag at second. Otto will step on the bag at second, and the side is retired. MLB news and notes. Bryce Harper and Jordan Walker will both participate in the home run derby. Bryce has got 20, Walker's got 21, and Ben Rice hit his 27th and 28th home runs of the season. And the Yankees win over the Rays to, I guess you kind of say, salvage that series a little bit today. Yankees even going bad.
Going to have Junior Caminero in the home run hitting contest. Jack Caglianone of the Kansas City Royals, big left-handed bat.
As of about 6 o'clock, Harper, Walker, Contreras, Caglianone, Rice, Caminero.
Yeah, Rice has to be in it. And you would hope they would put Harper and Schwarber in different brackets so they could come up against each other in the finals. How would that be at the bank?
That'd be good. That'd be really good. So here is Xavier Edwards, who I almost just mentioned, reached on an E1 by Bryce Miller in the first, but that E1 has been rescinded, and they have since given Xavier Edwards a base hit.
Good for X.
So he's 1 for 1 in this game.
We talked earlier about Xavier having played every game. He's been on base 81 of the 93 games. Only 2 other players in the major leagues been on base more. Brian Reynolds of the Pirates and Taylor Ward of the Orioles. So I'm happy to make that change in my scorebook.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's nice. So those 93 games for Edwards this season. WAR a little over 2.5. Such a good player. 2-1. He's in the driver's seat here. You and I were talking about this a little bit during the last commercial break. Take a look at Bryce Miller. He's racking up strikeouts right and left this season. Doesn't really walk guys. Just kind of goes about his business and just brings them up, sets them up, and knocks them down, as they say. But the Marlins, time and time again, have proven to be a team that wants to drag you all the way into the deep end and just get into a total rock fight and stress you out to the max. 3-1. There is ball 4.
I think it's a real tribute to Pedro Guerrero and his assistants and the way they've worked with these hitters to make pitchers work. We were also talking about in between innings. Who have the Marlins beaten this year? They beat Paul Skeens. Mizorowski.
They'll probably see game 1 coming out of the break, you'd imagine.
And Ohtani. There aren't many teams that could say that.
I agree with you. Game 1 between the Marlins and the Guardians comes your way tomorrow at 6:45. But you really, I mean, in the way this is going right now, you show up to the ballpark every day as a fan or a broadcaster. They don't wait. They drag you into the deep end from the first pitch of the game and say, let's go. It's going to be bloody. It'll be messy. It might not be the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but we're going to kick your rear end. Weak swing and a miss by Stowers on a splitter. Stowers just missed a couple of pitches in the first, and there were a couple of swings made you feel like he was really seeing it well for Miller, but we'll see about that. He is down to the count, 0-2.
Well, you look over his last 18 games, Kyle Stowers, 333, 7 home runs, but most importantly, 19 RBIs in those 18 games.
Oh-2 with X at first. And Stowers strikes out on a splitter. How about a quick message from Doral Kia?
Take advantage of a Pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
So as we were discussing, you'd probably figure Bryce Miller would have had a strikeout by now. He did not. That is his first. And here's Hernandez, who flew out to left in the first.
Don't know if I've ever used this term, but Stowers got splittered to death.
Yes, he did.
Some good ones from Miller.
Was obviously hoping that he was not going to see 3 consecutive splitters there. 1-1 on Heriberto. Quick look at our youth player of the ball game tonight, Adam, who plays for the Miami Falcons 6 and under team in the Doral Little League. About Adam, a little taekwondo, swimming, loves spending time with his family. His favorite Marlins, Sandy Alcantara. And when Adam grows up, he wants to be teammates with Sandy.
Yeah, you don't want to knock Adam down. Come at you with some taekwondo.
1-1 to Hernandez is on the way. It's a nice pick there by Arali. So Sandy just needs to hang on for another 15 years, and Adam needs to get really, really sharp. He'll be about 21 years old, and he'll be teammates with Sandy.
There you go. By the way, Xavier is really trying to time.
Yes, he is.
Miller. He's shuffled off a few times. He's really trying to time him and get a good jump.
He does have 13 stolen bases. He just can't get it, though, Hut. It's really close.
Yeah, each time.
It's like one big old leap at the end, just when he feels like he's just about got him timed up. He just doesn't feel comfortable, I suppose, at the last second. There's ball 4. It's the 3rd walk of the game issued already by Miller. Jansen Junk has walked a career high 4. Miller's walked 3.
So just like we told you at the beginning of the game, we got 2 guys who fill up the strike zone and throw a lot of strikes.
And this might make Miller a little uncomfortable, and maybe the reason Raleigh's coming out to chat with him is because Griffin Conine's coming to the plate, who tied his career high in the launch angle department with that 42-degree high arcing homer leading off the bottom of the 2nd. It was good for his 4th long ball of the year.
See if he sees that same diet of splitters that Kyle Stowers did.
Hernandez at first with Edwards at second. First time this season that Bryce Miller's walked 3 in a game. And it's the first time he's walked 3 or more in a game since April 29th of last season.
Missed a little time last year. He did have 18 starts. It's elbow issues.
First pitch to Conine. That's called strike 1-0. Or nothing in 1, I beg your pardon.
And it was that splitter. That was more of the get me over type splitter.
Ground ball hit softly to second. Young to Emerson. 2. Naylor. That'll retire the side. We've played 3 full at Lone Depot Park. 2-1 Miami.
It starts with Celsius. Feel like and feel good.
4th inning scoreboard is brought to you by FPL. Marlins leading 2-1. There's Mariner Moose on that young lady's right shoulder. I think that is very similar to the Billy the Marlin plush doll. That'll soon be given out here at the ballpark. Mariner Moose. Nice fella. Here's Luke Raley. Mariners trailing by a run. So, I mean, if this were to hold, if the Marlins were to win 2-1, but they are vying for their 19th come-from-behind victory of this season. Very resilient, gritty ball club are these Marlins. Rarely swats it foul, 0-2. You know, the Marlins had Will Kempner up in a loose inning earlier, and maybe Clayton McCullough was just feeling like it's not. Jansen's okay, but it just doesn't feel right. But it's almost like he has gradually is gaining a little bit more trust there from that dugout. Raley deep down the line, foul into the seats.
Kind of get the feeling, though, this could be his last inning, because if things were to get back around to the 5th, it'd be 3rd time around.
I think he gets these 4 guys.
For the
Raley,
lineup,
Young, Robles, and Emerson. Obviously, you'd love to see him go 1, 2, 3 here in the 4th, but I think he gets these final 4. But who knows? Who knows what that guy's thinking? Raley struck out on a sweeper of Jansen's in the 2nd. Mariners have 1 run on 2 hits. The Marlins have 2 runs on 4 hits. Little pop up back of 3rd. Jimenez, 1 away. Make sure you join the Marlins in supporting Venezuela. Purchase your 50-50 raffle tickets during the Mariners series. That concludes here tonight. Help provide relief for those impacted by the recent earthquakes. One winner will take home 50% of the net proceeds, while the remaining funds will support relief earthquakes. You can buy your tickets at marlins5050.marlins.com. Thanks again to the Marlins president of business, Caroline O'Connor, for joining us in the second as Cole Young pops that one foul. And thanks again to all of you in the community that have supported not just the Marlins, but the Venezuelan earthquake relief efforts, the players, the staff, the coaches, front office, fans, everybody alike.
Yeah, much appreciated by all, and especially those suffering in Venezuela.
Here's the one-strike pitch to Cole Young, and now it's 0-2. So the Marlins have won 15 of their last 19 games dating back to June 17th. They're a season best 9 games over 500. They're 25-8 since the start of June. Did you know that the Marlins tonight could match their winningest single season 20-game span in team history? They went 16-4 from August 14th through September 8th of 2004. Popped him up. That ain't gonna work. Certainly will for Junk. 2 away.
A little better location, a little better feel from Jansen Junk here in the 4th inning.
Much better. I agree with you. And obviously, by looking at that, he really started to settle down in the 3rd. Even in the 1st, he threw 16 pitches, but remember, he walked the first 2 guys.
I'll tell you what, you have to give him a ton of credit.
A ton.
And I'll finish that thought.
Of credit.
Next inning. Remember that. A ton of credit.
That's a 9-pitch half inning for Jansen Junk. Top gun. Bottom of the 4th inning on Marlins.tv in Miami, where Marlins TV is powered by Major League Baseball. Good to have you with us on this Thursday night, wherever you might be, however you might be joining us. With Tommy Hutton and Jeremy Taché, I'm Kyle Seeloff. The first half will wrap up on Sunday. Of course, that will not be the actual halfway point. That was a couple of weeks ago. Bryce Miller goes back to work for Seattle. He is facing Esteury Ruiz. So Miller gave up 2 hits and 7 scoreless to beat the Angels last Thursday. That's out the window here tonight. He also comes into the ball game tonight with the lowest opponent on base percentage in baseball this season of guys with a minimum of 40 innings of work. Now, as Esteury Ruiz comes to the plate, 7 of the first 15 Marlins to bat tonight have reached base.
Yeah, they have made it difficult tonight for Bryce Miller, who has been, since he started, remember we told you he started the year a little late because of an oblique injury. Coming into the game, lefties were hitting just 152 against him.
1 ball, 1 strike to count on Ruiz. And Miller kicks and fires. A fastball for a strike. Would you still like to give Jansen Junk a ton of credit?
I would, and the reason for it, the shaky start, couple of walks. The walks, he's had 4. The 2 errors, and he settled in. And he's been able to get some outs.
The Marlins are winning this game as Ruiz strikes out on a splitter. Esteury not very happy. We apologize about that as we go back downstairs to Jeremy.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, Bryce Miller, quite the pitcher and also quite the character. One quirk, he developed cheese nicknames for his fellow starting pitchers. It started with calling the veteran, Luis Castillo, the Big Cheese, but he decided to continue using a system of size of said cheese based off the service time of the players. So he said it's sandwich cheese for Logan Gilbert because, well, that was the next biggest cheese he could think of. So sure, off the standard ranking system, it was angry cheese for George Kirby, Heath String, Brian Wu, who was the newest Get Shredded Parm, and of course the amazing news for Miller, Colt Emerson already had the nickname Ched for cheddar when he was a kid, thanks to a University of Wisconsin wrestling singlet.
I think that all amounts to these guys having way too much time to think about.
Well, I think many people from Wisconsin have cheese as a nickname.
I think so. You know what we haven't mentioned yet about Bryce Miller? He could have decided to be a Marlin. I think there's some folks probably thinking, what on earth are you talking about? He's been a Mariner his entire career as Marcy swings and misses. Bryce Miller in 2018 in the 38th round was drafted by the Miami Marlins out of Blinn College in Brenham, Texas. Obviously did not sign. Went on to Texas A&M in College Station, where he improved his draft stock by 34 rounds. Got himself a nice signing bonus. But that's kind of a cool footnote. He was a Marlins draft pick.
Yeah, that happens. It just lets you know that he was on their radar. What he's done this year, he's gotten more spin, more velocity. He's gained confidence. He gained a little weight, put on a few pounds, and gained some confidence with all that too.
He kind of sets up a little bit like Spencer Strider, although that left toe is not pointing directly towards the batter or the home plate area. This is a Texas boy through and through. He was born in Mount Pleasant, started his collegiate career at Brenham, and then went on to Texas A&M in College Station. You can slowly see Marcy coming around. Now, I know we're probably talking about that ad nauseum, but when things were going really well, I'm not too sure he yanked some of these cutters. Instead, may just strike out and go quietly. I mean, it feels like he's starting to see it a little bit better. Single to the opposite side of the diamond in the second, and there's ball four. I think he's starting to snap out of it.
Much better at bats.
Make sure you celebrate Military Appreciation Night with the Marlins tomorrow at 7:10 when they take on the Guardians, and you can get an exclusive Military Appreciation jersey with your ticket package. Brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Get your tickets at marlins.com/military. That's an older version of those Military Appreciation jerseys. The new ones are sick. Here's Leo Jimenez, who lays off a fastball.
You know, think about Bryce Miller. He was pretty good for the Mariners in postseason last year as well. Had 3 starts. Went 1-0. Had an ERA about 2.5.
They were so close, Hut. They were so close. It just as a fan of the game, to see them go 7 games in the distance with the Blue Jays. The whole thing too, it's like going back and forth across the country from Toronto to Seattle. Just a rock fight of a series. That to watch that fan base in the Pacific Northwest rally behind that team, it was really cool to see.
Which also is interesting, has a pretty good fan base of Blue Jays fans too, because of their geographic closeness to Vancouver. Yeah, it was a good series. We were talking the other day, people get spoiled. Marlins fans who have had, if you've followed the Marlins for a long time, have had 2 World Championships. Seattle has never had one.
And there's 4 others that have never won one.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yeah.
And we missed one the other day. Who did we miss?
We missed 2 the other day. Shame on us for missing one. Our friends across the state, the Tampa Bay Rays. And the other...
You know why we missed them? Because they're in the playoffs every year.
They most recently got to the Fall Classic a couple of years ago.
But they've never won.
They have never won. And the Milwaukee Brewers. 1-1. That is punched softly into right. That's a base hit for Jimenez. Marcy read it really well, but he slammed on the brakes at second. Oh, I thought he was going to go.
I did too.
Oh, wow. Boy, the way that he read the ball off the bat and the way he was motoring towards second, I thought Marcy was going first to third for sure. But probably maybe a prudent decision. Let's see.
He's going. Let's see where Raley is. I think Raley would have had him if he makes a good throw. Raley came and got that ball pretty well and wasn't playing that deep. And he picked up and he saw the stop sign from Blake Lally as well.
This is a good Mariners outfield in terms of arm strength, and we saw that on display with Victor Robles last night, throwing out Otto Lopez at the plate, who is standing in the on-deck circle. We'll see if Liam Hicks can come through once again. He had a 2-out RBI double in the second.
You know, I thought of this tonight when Liam led off. you don't see many catchers hitting in the leadoff spot. And there's a guy that you and I were talking about, a catcher, Jason Kendall.
Yep.
Did that a lot with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
A guy whose Hall of Fame case is rarely discussed.
It's really worth looking at.
Yes, it is. You could stack up a lot of his numbers with, say, a Yadier Molina. Kind of compare those guys on Baseball Reference, if you will. 1-1 to Hicks. That is bounce towards the right side. Naylor's got it, lobs it to second. They might want to challenge this. He's safe at second. Ball gets away. Here comes Marcy. Ahead first dive, and he scores. I have a suspicion they may also challenge the play at second, because to the naked eye, I'm not so sure that Emerson's foot was on the bag when he received the throw.
But I will say one thing, and I want to interject this as this challenge is going to be made. I believe Clayton gets out there in a hurry. But I just want to tell fans, this is the way the Marlins have been playing. It's fun baseball. They take aggressive turns on bases. Great base running by Jacob Marcy to score.
I think Emerson was way off the bag. Watch this. Was his foot anywhere on or near the bag?
Off the bag.
Lordy,
way off the bag.
Brother, the neighborhood play ended about a decade ago.
Yeah, that used to be called an out.
Amy Sailing's in the out, call at second base.
Boy, you could see it to the naked eye.
Oh,
Woo.
yeah. Not even close. Not even close. But as we have said, and then Miller tries to pick it, and great heads-up base running by Jacob Marcy, who over his shoulder saw the missed pick by Miller and took advantage of it and scored.
So Emerson, in theory, will only be charged with one error, but there's really two on him on the play. First, the inability to stay on the bag at second, and then the errant throw to first that leads to the run. It amounts into a ground ball force out by Hicks. So Jimenez is safe at second.
The return. The runner is safe. The runner will return to second base.
So there you go. And that was a challenge that did not take a whole lot of time. Our challenge was brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Maybe that's two errors?
So you have to account for a couple of things, a couple of different things. The run scoring, the runner being at second base. I would have to think two. So if he doesn't do that, there's an out at second. If he throws it good to first base, the run doesn't score from third. So there are the two errors.
I think Dan Wilson is on the verge of headed to the showers a little bit early here. He is not happy with Laz Diaz. Those two are face to face, and Dan is going to go back to the dugout. And I have a suspicion I know why. I believe his argument was Jimenez ran through the bag at second and did not make an effort to go towards third.
He made a little turn, but that's about it.
There's a lot going on there, wasn't there?
But the best thing that went on was Jacob Marcy scoring.
Yeah. There are two errors on the box score. There's also two on the scoreboard. And here's Otto Lopez. 3-1 Miami. After all that, it's 3-1. Okay, so there are two errors on the play. The throwing error and the fielding error by Emerson. I did not know you could go fielding error there for not staying on the bag. I guess that makes sense. Lopez ground ball. That's fair. It's going to roll all the way down the left field line. It is ticketed towards the corner. One run will score. Here comes Licks. Otto's on his way to third with a two-run triple. 5-1 Miami here in the fourth.
Once again, all that stuff becomes academic and it becomes automatic. Big base hits, all year. 127 before the All-Star break, the most any Marlin has ever put together. Congratulations, Otto Lopez.
And the dismount is his 6th triple of the season.
Boy, he stung that ball past Crawford at third base. And everybody was off to the races.
And Edwards pops this one a mile high. And making the catch is Young for the second out.
Watch this triple. I think he got a breaking ball from Miller. Stayed back. And then, as I said, everybody off to the races. Even Liam Hicks able to cover out and score. He has now gotten base hits off 102 different pitchers.
Stunning.
So 127 base hits off 102 different pitchers. Crazy.
It's unbelievable. Here is Stowers, and he lines one through the right side. That's a base hit. Lopez will score. Kyle Stowers with his first RBI of the ball game, his 42nd of the season, and the Marlins have a 6-1 lead over the Mariners here tonight.
Well, remember, Kyle Stowers got all those splitters. This time he gets it again, but it hangs up in the zone, and I guarantee he was sitting on it and looking for it. Up in the zone, bangs it past the second baseman. Young picks up another run.
Heriberto Hernandez grounds one softly towards third. J.P. Crawford's throw to first. That's in time. Naylor kept his foot on the bag, but a big inning for the Marlins. A 4 spot. They lead 6-1 as we go to the 5th. Otto Lopez collects the Marlins' 24th in Major League leading triple of the season, knocks in a pair in the 4th. And congratulations to Otto, who establishes a new franchise record of 127 hits before the All-Star break. What an accomplishment. I mentioned he's done it off of a century worth of pitchers. As Colt Emerson takes a called strike from Jansen Junk, who's all of a sudden thinking, boys, I'm going to get 3 outs. I'm going to be in line for a win here.
And I think early in the game, we weren't sure Jansen Junk would be going into the 5th inning as we see him here right now.
It is pretty cool in this regard, how complimentary all this has been. Because if this is still a 2-1 game, I don't know if Jansen Junk is still out there with the top of the order due up next.
Well,
but because of those 4 runs.
Yeah, a lot of pitches early through 16 in the 1st inning, 23 in the 2nd inning. He's walked 4.
And he strikes out Emerson, made him look silly on a sinker.
But all of a sudden, after that 9-pitch 1-2-3 4th inning, he's got himself locked in.
Big first out here in the inning for Junk. Well, make sure you join the Marlins for a red, white, and blue celebration on Saturday when they take on the Guardians. Drink around the USA and sample 7 different American beers before the ball game. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/brew. Crawford knocks it foul.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if the score had stayed 2-1, we might have seen Jansen in this inning, but it might have been a batter by batter thing.
Yep. There you go. Marlins.com/brew. Hang out there at the Budweiser bar. A 6-1 Marlins lead. They've scored 6 unanswered after the Mariners got a run in the 2nd. Now it's 1-2 on Crawford, who drew a walk in the 1st and grounded out 1-4-3 in the 2nd. So Crawford 0 for 1 tonight, now 4 for his last 30 at the plate, hitting right around 135 over his last 9 games. I'll throw him a filthy changeup and put him away. About a backdoor slider.
Just give him the slider on the outer part of the plate, find that back door, unlock it. There it is.
And walk right on in. 5th strikeout.
7 in a row now that Jansen Junk has retired since the Canzone single in the 3rd inning.
And for all the traffic early, the Mariners have 2 hits in this game. Here's Arozarena.
One, a little jam shot off the bat of Canzone, and the other, that bloop that Naylor hit.
You know who's also probably feeling good about all this, and by the way, make sure you stay tuned till the 7th inning for the stretch. As always, that'll be brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. I think Liam Hicks is probably feeling good too after a couple of missed challenges in a game that's now 6-1. By no means is this one anywhere close to being over, but just saying, a 5-run lead, Liam probably feeling a little bit better than a 2-1 advantage behind the plate.
Yeah, you know what? Well, look at that, a Jacob Marcy fan, got the hot dog hat. Jansen has done well. He's worked a changeup, but then he's been able to crowd hitters with his fastball that's not overpowering, but still has had them a little bit behind, just like that. That two-seamer ran in on Arozarena.
If he's looking for a what they like to call a 2K punch out here, what do you think he's looking to do? What do you think? You bust them in with a sinker, maybe something soft away with a slider?
Go see the slider away. He's made some good pitches with that this inning.
Well, Arozarena tags that deep left center field. Marcy quickly running out of real estate. That's gone.
Yep, he tried it. The sweeper tried to get the sweeper away, but it had a whole lot of the plate. And Randy Arozarena hasn't missed many of those.
No, he is not. That's his 10th long ball of the year. There it sits out there in the shrubbery. 6-2 now.
There's the sweeper. See where Liam was set off the plate, middle. Arozarena crushed it.
And that's a conversation after the ball game. Look, it's the right idea. Just bad execution. You keep it moving. It's the 4th homer allowed by Junk on that sweeper this year. There's that Trident homer celebration pitchfork deal there. That is the most homered on pitch against Junk now. 4 off that sweeper. It's allowed 3 on the slider. It's 1-1 on Canzone.
Yeah, it's a great point that you made and you said, when people will say, well, why did he throw that pitch? Well, if he threw it where he wanted to, he just made a mistake. If he threw it where he wanted to, he probably would have gotten an out.
And mistakes happen. We forgive him.
Hasn't been out there a whole lot lately.
And again, quickly back to our conversation we were just having. Not so sure he's in this game if it wasn't 6-1, because the situation's just like that. Somebody seeing him for the 3rd time in the game. You don't want somebody to tie it at 2 with a homer, but in this case, a little bit of breathing room.
Well, and the other run that the Mariners got was an unearned run, so that's the first earned run that he's allowed. Of course, the unearned run was his responsibility,
which I've always thought there's some nuance to that. I think that he should be charged with an if it's your fault.
He should charge.
Right. He should be charged with the earned run.
Save that discussion for Nelly.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Be hard to reel him in. He's in Maine right now anyway. He might be watching. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Mariners. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Marlins, who's trying to sweep Seattle. Bouncing ball to first. Oh, that 8 up. Stowers a big hang with him, and the side is retired. Arozarena gets one back with his 10th of the year. 6-2 Marlins. Well, that's going to do it for Jansen Junk, but after missing the last 6 weeks, making just a couple of rehab outings, 2 runs, 1 earned, 3 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. A struggle at times. It looked much better down the stretch, and he's in line for his 4th win of the season. I think all things considered, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's just a really nice outing, a nice comeback.
Speaking of comebacks, that's a comebacker that is ripped into center by Griffin Conine. It's his 2nd hit of the game, but go ahead.
No, just because he started out slow, had the walks early, the 2 errors. So nicely done for Jansen Junk. keep the lead, get him a win.
A couple of walks there in the first. It could have easily been 3-0, 4-0. Just didn't have it. We'll get him back. No, he was a bulldog in this one. Good for Jansen Show. I think when Kempner was loosening in the second. That's crazy to get 5 in a good way. Here's Ruiz with Conine at first. Miller's still out there. So of the 6 runs that Bryce Miller has allowed, only 4 of those are earned, but he's walked 4, which is 1 shy of tying a career high. He's got 2 strikeouts. Ooh. Poristeri, who was one of only 2 Marlins in this game without a hit. He and Heriberto Hernandez are the only 2 Marlins without a hit in this game. We're going to watch what happened. You can also probably hear what happened. It was immediate pain. Oh, goodness gracious.
That's on the inside of the knee. Inside of that front lobe.
Let's listen to him yip here. Jeepers. That sent me right into retirement. Pants aren't very long.
Thing is, that thing will tighten up quickly.
He needs to wear one of those knee protectors that Ronald Acuna Jr. wears. It protects the inside of his knee.
Acuna wears everything.
Oh yeah. Acuna saunters to the plate like he's living in the Renaissance era with all that armor on. Oh my gosh. Now it does look like he does have a little bit of padding on that left knee, but again,
it's not going to help.
That ain't going to help. I think those pads are also like kind of like football knee pads. Will help when he goes head first when he's diving, but that ain't gonna matter.
I'm not sure. Is Acuna back off the IL, or is he still injured?
I don't think so. I think he's still on the shelf.
He's still injured. Yeah.
They need him back. Marlins are running them down. They've run down the Phillies. Probably go right back in there, and they do. I mean, yeah, you hate to say it, but really good pitchers, after something like that, you don't hesitate to go right back in there. Batters are going to be a little gun shy about doing the same thing again. Marcy's on deck, the 2-1. That's on the corner, 2-2. Griffin Conine at first. He's 2 for 3 in this game, a homer and a single. See if the Marlins can get that run right back after the Arosarena solo shot here in the top half of the frame. Oh.
By the way, the Braves did not need Acuna in their game today against the Pirates.
Saw that.
10-5 win. Matt Olson homered again. He's gotten hot all of a sudden. And Mike Yastrzemski hit a grand slam.
Still a ball club without Sean Murphy, Ha-Sung Kim, and Ronald Acuna Jr. Not that Kim was giving him a whole lot as Ruiz strikes out on a splitter. 1 away here in the last of the 5th as we check in once again with Jeremy.
Thanks again, Kyle. MLB draft coming up this weekend, and let's check out the Ocean Bank Minor League report. It's the 2nd round pick for the Fish back in 2024. Carter Johnson, that was Peter Bendix and company's first draft. Really struggled for the first part of his still young career, but the 20-year-old was recently promoted to High A Beloit, and he's been on a tear. 8-game hit streak, OPS over 1,000. And this is what the Marlins do, Kyle. A lot of underlying numbers over the standard statistical result will tell them you're ready for the next level, and that's clearly what's going on here with Johnson. He's been ready.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, you know, you talk about him a little bit when he's drafted, and then they start going through that developmental process, and it's years like this, some of those guys really start to blossom. Happens with a lot of organizations. You can't keep track of everybody. You start saying these names over and over again. It's like, well, who's that? Like, That's close. That's kind of close here.
Yeah, I always like to see when the young kids advance and move up from high A to double A, or from low A to high A, and then get better and improve a little bit.
Yeah. Marcy pops this one up. 2 away. We were talking about that a little bit last night with a guy like Ken Canarella, who we seemingly have not been able to stop talking about the last couple of weeks. I mean, that kid is literally hitting his way through the minor leagues. And if you want to catch somebody's attention in the organization,
that's what you do.
Hit your way out of every level. They can only hold you back for so long until you force their hand, which is exactly what every young prospect is looking to do. It's kind of like what you did in 1966 when you hit 340 in Albuquerque. You were tired of being there.
That's interesting, too, because they told me Bob Kennedy was my manager, who actually managed a little bit in the big leagues. But they told me about a week before I left that I was going to get called up to AAA, that I was going to go up to AAA. But they wanted me to stay and accumulate enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting title.
Really?
Yeah.
And then in 71, in 145 games, you hit 352 in AAA. Can't sniff the show? You kidding me?
What the heck? It took a while.
That's criminal. 0-2 to Leo Jimenez. Missed outside. That's crazy.
By the way, that was another batting title.
It's unbelievable. You know what? If you perform really well for like 145 games and hit 350, maybe you'll be taken into consideration the following year.
We had about 3 or 4 guys in that lineup that hit 30 home runs, 100. Ron Say had 100 RBIs. Tom Paciorek, I think, had 100 RBIs that year.
Stay right there, boys. It's not your time. Enjoy Spokane. That's where you were, right?
Beautiful Spokane. Nice area.
2-2 is spanked into center by Leo Jimenez, who is seeing his first action since Sunday when he hit his first homer of the year in Sacramento. And Leo's a guy who quietly, coming into this one, he's now 2 for 3. Over his last 7 games was a 300 hitter.
Because of his playing time, sporadic. You love to see guys like Leo, when they get the opportunity, put together good at-bats, good swings, base hit up the middle, 2 base hits tonight.
He is a guy whom the Marlins took a flyer on from Toronto earlier in the year that they felt, still do, feel like there's some real tools there. Might not be an everyday guy, but a real big leaguer who can stick on the roster. Here's Hicks. A leadoff single, a 2-out single, Conine at second, Jimenez at first, and here's Liam, who has twice been on base tonight. He reached as a part of that double E6 in the 4th by Colt Emerson. Committed his 3rd and 4th errors at shortstop, his 4th and 5th on the season. That's ripped to first. Naylor. Scott at side retired. Marlins leave a pair, but they lead by 4 as we go to the 6th. Well, hot diggity dog. Marlins have a 6-2 lead as we go to the top of the 6th inning in Lone Depot Park tonight. I think it's dollar dog night, is it? Just, you can't resist coming to Lone Depot Park in your Marlins top without, you can't forget the hot dog had at home.
Yeah. Got the, what kind of, you call that an Italian tablecloth?
I think so.
Yeah, with the hot dog, yeah.
Now, you know what you can come to the ballpark and do? How about can I entertain you with a $5 Bud Happy Hour deal by chance?
You could entertain me in that, yeah.
All right, well, that's coming up tomorrow. It's brought to you by Budweiser, and you can enjoy $5 Budweisers until first pitch every Friday home game at the Budweiser bar. And you can do so by simply going to marlins.com/tickets. It's that easy. Drink responsibly. A couple of 12-ounce curls, a couple of dogs, and a ball game. smoking hot deal there. Here is Cal Raleigh, who rips that first pitch he sees from Lake Bacher foul. So here comes Lake.
Yeah, it was a rough outing for Lake in Sacramento in that Yuri Perez game. So he's had a couple of days to regroup, get his arm ready, and go 1, maybe 2 innings here.
Let's start to hash this out a little bit, Hut.
Okay.
It is the 94th game of the season, All-Star break coming up. And in the not too distant future, managers really start to whip the horse as a jockey, and you got to push these guys. Now, however, tonight with the bullpen, Gibson, Fairbanks, and Peterson have all pitched in back-to-back games. You can kind of safely assume, unless in an absolute emergency, those 3 are unavailable. Here is Bacher. We'll see how much you get from him, and that leaves you with Gusto, Fauché, Kempner, and Zuber. But after 5 innings from Jansen Junk, I'm sure Clayton's feeling a little bit better.
Helped. Yeah, that certainly helped. And I'm sure that'll be something that Clayton talks about on the post game.
Yes.
The 5 innings from Jansen Junk.
There's no question. You would agree, though, we are starting to near the time where guys that have not worked back to back to back all season are about to get pushed to different limits a little bit when need be, especially when you need to win every game you can.
When you start sniffing postseason, the second half of the season, back to back, you'll be ready.
And yeah, I was going to say that I've often heard guys, like a lot of veteran players that make good money over the years, they've said, Kyle, once like September 1st hits and you're in it, after a total grind, and Cal Raleigh strikes out on a curveball for the first out here in the 6th. Nice little battle there between him and Bacher. I've heard guys, Sutton, I'm sure you can attest to this over the years, say you just feel like a new man once September 1st hits and you're in it. Well, it's just go time.
There are a lot of things that happen. Number one, you get the adrenaline of playing in meaningful games.
Right.
And number two, you're going to places and the weather cools off a little bit too in September. So you get a little recharge.
Those leaves start to change colors a little bit when the bird lands in different cities. It starts to feel like baseball in the fall. You're right. The hoodies start to come back out of the duffel bags. Naylor's 1 for 2. And now it's 0-2. Bacher really fooled him there.
But he's throwing some good curveballs. The one that got Raleigh and that one right there.
See, taking a very quick look at the National League wildcard standings. Miami and Philadelphia are dead even in the race. Both are a game back of the Cubs, who I believe lost today. They did. Philadelphia and Cincinnati are tied at 0 in the 7th. So if the Marlins hang on to win, they will all of a sudden be 1/2 game back of the first wild card spot in the National League. Marlins and Cubs don't do a little do-si-do until September. Bouncer towards first. That's a fair ball. Playing it back nicely, Stowers.
Love that. The first thing that Kyle Stowers did, and you hear me talk about this a lot, he saw how Naylor was getting up the line. Like where he fielded that ball, normally he'd probably have to flip it to Bacher covering the bag. But he saw where Naylor was. He said, Lake, forget about it. I got it.
Break it down. Naylor's breaking it down. You can break it down. I'll take care of it.
By the way, a great pitching duel going on in Cincinnati between Brady Singer and Jesus Luzardo.
Ooh. Brady Singer, the old Florida Gator, right?
Yep. They've each only given up a couple of hits. I think Luzardo has 10 strikeouts.
He does. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts for Luzardo tonight. No walks, 5 strikeouts for Singer. Marlins win, Phillies lose. Marlins would own sole possession of second place in the National League wildcard race. As Luke Raley waits on an 0-1 and he lines that into right field. And Ruiz plays it on hot. 2-out base knock for Luke Raley, his 3rd hit in the series.
You know, he hit that so hard, you're just happy he didn't launch it.
Right.
that it was a line drive single.
Another thing we haven't really talked about. Now, I tell myself this every day before I come to the ballpark. It should remind people how many games the Marlins have won in the row. They've done so much winning since the month of June. I think we've taken for granted just like these 3 to 4 game winning streaks. They played tonight. They won 5 in a row. They could win 6 in a row tonight, which would match their longest winning streak of the season from June 6th through the 12th. But all of that evidenced by this incredible stretch for the Marlins, in which they've won 25 of their last 33 games. And why Clayton, after all that, is tugging at the top of his head, I just can't figure it out, Hud.
It's a cafecito kicking in.
Yanking your hair out when you're 25-8.
You know what, though? There are a lot of managers that don't have the opportunity and can't yank hair out.
That's true, too. They lost it all years ago. Clayton's fortunate.
Check with Terry Francona.
There's a swing and a miss by Cole Young. And Bacher works around the 2-out single by Raley here in the 6th. Mid-6, 6-2 Marlins.
There's a storm.
Miami Marlins baseball on Marlins TV is proudly presented by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito, and by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. It's the vibrant downtown city skyline of Miami on a Thursday. For all the energy that you see downtown there's plenty of it here at Lone Depot Park as Otto Lopez scorches the first pitch that he sees from Michael Rucker into center. And there's one away. Robles put the squeeze on out number 1. Last time we saw Michael Rucker, I wouldn't exactly say things went all that well in the 10th inning on Tuesday night.
Yeah, he gave up that base hit that almost was a home run, but a walk-off base hit by Jacob Marcy.
10th appearance for Rucker this season. 32-year-old right-hander out of Columbus, Mississippi. It's a fastball over for a strike on Xavier Edwards, who's been on base twice tonight, singled in the first, walked in the third. Oh boy, here we go again. I think the All-Star break is coming at a good time. These boys are battered and bruised.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22. Yes, you're right in a way, but when you're on a really nice roll of winning games, and you see how things go the rest of this one and also against the Guardians coming into town this weekend, sometimes you don't want to stop playing.
You know what's interesting?
But when you have guys banged up, I think it helps. You
know what's interesting, though, and I totally agree with you, but what encourages me the most, I truly believe this style of baseball will carry over nicely after 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Just scrappy. Like, we're just going to battle, boys, and we don't need to do this on 4 homers tonight, although the Marlins have started to slug more. But and maybe they face Mizorowski on next Friday in Milwaukee. Maybe that's the case. You know what I'm saying, though? It just feels like, I think they could pick up where they left off, but we'll see. But you're right, though. Post All-Star break is interesting to watch teams.
It's always interesting.
Does it take them 5 games, a week and a half to start to get back into gear? Bouncing ball left side. That's flagged down by Crawford, who kind of submarines it over to first for the out. Make sure you don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv, brought to you by WHG. Stream the entire season within Marlins territory. Watch games at home or on the go. And stay connected all year long, subject to national exclusivities. Visit Marlins.tv for details and start streaming today.
Well, I would imagine, and we don't know what the rotation will be after the break, but I imagine could be Sandy and Yuri first couple of games.
I think so. Sandy and Yuri will go tomorrow and Saturday. And if you didn't join us for the pregame and the start of the show, we're actually going to talk a little bit more about Sandy when we go to the top of the 7th. Max Meyer is no longer scheduled to start Sunday. For clarification purposes, he's fine, but he's also already worked a career workload this season. And there's Max. So they're going to give him a breather on Sunday. And it's conceivable, as the 2-0 is in there for a strike, who knows, but they might try to give him like a full week and a half, almost 2 weeks off if you put him in the back end of your rotation coming out of the break.
And I think that'll be good for him. Yeah, 108 innings he's thrown already.
Career high in starts, all that good stuff.
Everything's a high as far as innings pitched. So he's thrown a lot of sweepers and sliders, but he's an all-star. And he's going to enjoy every moment in Philadelphia.
Max and Asteri chopping it up. I forgot to ask him again today if he's just going to crash on Luzardo's couch for the Midsummer Classic. It's unbelievable.
That's funny, yeah.
He's unbelievable. Usually when we get back from road trips, or if we're about to go on a road trip and we pull in at the same time, he's carrying his baby black lab and tossing it into another car to go with the dog sitter for the week. He's just a regular Joe who's really darn good at his craft. It's hilarious. I've seen him multiple times walking in the parking garage with the dog carrying him like a baby, just tossing it into the back of a car. Yeah, it's good. Trains him in a local park. 2-2 struck him out. Good work for Michael Rucker here in the 6th as we go to the 7th.
This is it.
Top of the 7th inning here at Lone Depot Park. The gentleman with the gray shirt and the green hat, I believe that's Michael Hoffman of Warner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. That's our buddy. It's the crew. We thank him for all the support.
Yeah, had a visit up in the booth. We talked to him up here, didn't we?
Yes, we did. And he was dialed into the fish.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee he's really dialed in now.
I would say so.
So Lake Bacher gets a second inning. He had a nice inning last inning. Gave up just the base hit to Raley.
So Robles, Emerson, and Crawford. Curveball might have missed a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Marlins wrapping up a series with the Mariners here tonight. A chance to sweep their 7th series of the year. Isn't that something? And the Guardians coming into town tomorrow night. Sandy Alcantara will be on the mound for Miami. He'll be followed by Yuri Perez on Saturday, and presumably a bullpen game on Sunday. And Hut, it's July 9th. We are headed towards the trade deadline. It is always a very speculative time of the season. And when we have a moment here in the 7th, we're going to show the audience some pretty interesting and poignant quotes from Bruce Sherman, courtesy of Marlins Radio last Saturday. We'll get to those in a moment here. But Sandy has been talked about so much at recent deadlines. He's a bit of the heartbeat of this ball club. He's the veteran presence. He's the guy, right? And I'm very excited to share, and I think many people, if they haven't seen it yet, will be very excited to hear what Bruce had to say.
Yeah, a Cy Young winner, a 2-time All-Star himself, Sandy Alcantara.
He means a lot not only to the Marlins, but this South Florida community. He loves being here. As Robles pops one up, left side of the infield. There's one away. So let me share this with the audience. And again, if you haven't seen it, thanks to our friends Steven Strom and Jack McMullen of Marlins Radio. Chairman, principal owner, and control person Bruce Sherman said this last Saturday on Sandy Alcantara. He is our franchise icon. And for us, I look forward to many years in the future and what this all becomes. And I think you could read between the lines. You can take that however you'd like. Things are always subject to change. But those, in my opinion, those are some pretty strong words from the owner about Sandy being here for a long time.
Well, I think those words let you know what Bruce Sherman thinks about Sandy Alcantara and what he means to this ball club, what he means to the franchise, what he means to the city.
Yep. I am thrilled for Mr. Sherman, his wife Cynthia, Peter Bendix, this entire organization to see what this is quickly becoming this season. It's been a lot of fun to see people start to rally behind this ball club, whether it's in the ball club or in the ballpark, excuse me, the community, online. I think a lot of people are starting to catch the fever of Marlins baseball. And there's no better time than right now to get involved, as the 0-2 to Cole Emerson is swung on and missed. Liam Hicks completes the strikeout. 2 up and 2 down. And now a message from Michael Hoffman and his friends at Warner Hoffman, Gregg and Garcia.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
Got the good hat, like the hat. We've talked about all the different facets of the game that the Marlins have been able to put together during this great streak. The bullpen, the Marlins bullpen has the lowest opposing batting average against them in the major leagues. A little over 200, 206.
And we mentioned earlier they retired 16 of the final 17 batters last night. And look, there will always be guys that have their nights where it just doesn't go well. But I really can't think of too many major league teams right now how when you turn it over to the bullpen with a lead, you feel better about winning the game. What's been even more impressive as well, remember when this whole run started back in June? They had 2 starting pitchers. They had Sandy and Max Meyer, and guys were filling in admirably. Nobody's let go of the rope, and whatever these guys were asked to do, they've done. I think you'll love to hear this as well. I spoke to somebody downstairs in the clubhouse today, and I said, what have the vibes been like? And the answer I got was these guys are so confident that every day they come to the ballpark that even the post-game celebrations these days, in a good way, they're a little subdued because they expect to win. It's a business-like approach.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
We'll crank the music a little bit, but we're going to flip the page in a hurry because we expect to come back to the ballpark the next day and beat you. That'll give you goosebumps. Crawford hits one foul. I thought that was really cool to hear.
And I think that's been a transition during this time. And it wasn't always like that. And
no.
So it's good. It's good to see.
It's when you have a group of guys that expects to win every day that they come to the ballpark, and when you win, you shake hands, get a bite to eat, and listen to a few tunes, and re-rack it for the next day because you expect to come back here and win. That could be special stuff. Stowers has been pretty special at first. And it is stretch time here at Lone Depot Park. Marlins leading by 4 on the strength of 9 hits. And here we go. The stretch is brought to you by Celsius.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. You know, in this ballpark, and we've been open here a long time, it's very rare you're going to hear MVP chants for a player. I heard him tonight for Otto Lopez, who broke the Marlins' all-time record for most hits in the first half before the All-Star break here in the 4th inning with this triple. This gave him 127 hits, the most in franchise history before the All-Star break. And if you're keeping track at home, in terms of WAR, wins above replacement in the first half of the season, I mean, the only players he's trailing are Shohei Ohtani and Pete Crow Armstrong. So keep those MVP chants going, folks. Otto Lopez, what a great first half for him. We'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
Well, hopefully the Marlins are dialing up a winning postgame show for Craig Mish and Rod Allen. We'll see how this one unfolds shortly. But the Marlins leading by 4, a chance to sweep the Mariners, and a chance to improve to 10 games over 500 at 52-42. Wouldn't that be something? They do need to win to maintain that 3-game deficit in the National League East. Philadelphia has a 1-0 lead on the road in Cincinnati. That game's in the top of the 8th. We'll keep you posted there. And Michael Rucker is back to work after a 10-pitch bottom of the 6th.
Extend their home record to 31-17.
Jeez. Well, if you're looking to get involved this summer down the stretch, you're at the Lone Dome, as Clayton likes to call it. Still some memberships and plans available, and can't tell us we're liars if we tell you more often than not Marlins are doing a whole lot of winning here at home.
Hey, and there's still time to get on board with us on Marlins.tv.
It's a big sale going on right now, about 50 cents a game.
You know, I thought about that, and I thought, I mean, that's good news, but I just thought you and I were worth more than that.
You know, it's funny. I was going to say I don't think we are, but I thought maybe we'd be at least worth the 50 cents. That's kind of like, you know, a very close friend of mine often tells me everybody has a ceiling. It could be mine, 50 cents, but it's worth something.
You got to think big.
The difference in this game right now is that 4-run bottom of the 4th for Miami, as Heriberto Hernandez takes a sinker for a strike, and the count is full. There's your in-game box score. Only Hernandez and Ruiz do not have a hit in this contest. Right center for Robles. One away. Here comes Griffin Conine to the plate. He's having a good night, a homer and a single. Let's take a look at our mobile performance of the game. Conine back in the 2nd. A solo shot leading it off. His 4th homer of the year. Went a long way out the facing of the 2nd deck.
And Clayton did talk about it before the game with Owen Casey out for a while.
Is that his 3rd hit? No.
Griffin's going to get a lot of opportunities. And so far tonight, making the most of them.
Say thank you kindly for the opportunity. Owen, get well soon. In the meantime, I'm going to hold things down and do my part. You know, the Marlins have started to slug more, but if Conine, who obviously can hit the ball a mile, if he's going to refill the shoes of Casey, he's going to need to slug a little bit, right? If you're going to replace that guy, that's some of what you're going to need is some of that slug.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Owen Casey's last 18 games. There's some slug right there.
There's a little bit. You're right.
Give me the hanging cutter.
That'll rattle off the wall in right center. And Conine's a triple shy of the cycle here in the 7th. Something to monitor. You never know.
What a nice night. Home run, single. Cutter hangs up in the zone. Griff stays on top of it, finds that gap in right center, and cruises into second base.
Just the 5th game in his career. He has 3 or more hits. He had a career high 4-hit performance not long ago on June 30th. And if I gave you one guess where he got those 4 hits, I think every Marlins fan would get them right.
Let me guess somewhere in Colorado.
I think that's a good place to start. Yeah. Ruiz lines one into right field for a base hit. Late start for Conine. He'll stop at 3rd. And now Heriberto Hernandez is the only Marlin without a hit. All right, let's get some sound from last night from Clayton McCullough on Owen Casey.
Yeah, right calf tightness for Casey, and a little bit last night. You know, came in today and was able to get through pregame and felt okay. And as he went out there for the first inning of defense, as he was running around, he just said, you know, started to kind of grab on him a little bit, and just felt that, you know, not something we wanted to really take a chance on. And we'll get some further exams done on him and have probably a better idea tomorrow.
So that was Clayton last night, and what's the problem here? What is that noise I'm hearing? Are some of the Norwegian fans doing some rowing? Is that what I hear in the ballpark? I think some folks were applauding them. I think their team is playing here on Saturday. They were doing it somewhere here in the ballpark. Snap throw to first. here's the good news on Casey. He's not going to be reevaluated in 2 to 4 weeks. The word we got was his return to play is 2 to 4 weeks. That's a whole heck of a lot better than he'll be reevaluated a month from now, and then we're going to ramp up baseball activity. So they feel like they caught that all pretty early.
Well, and during that 2 to 4 weeks is the All-Star break, too.
Jacob Marcy with a base hit into right. Ruiz will go first to third. Conine scores. 7-2 Marlins.
One guy goes down, others get hot. Griffin Conine with 3 hits. Jacob Marcy with a pair of hits. Another multi-hit game for him.
He's starting to cook.
Muscled that one. Love the way he gets out of the box, too.
Much to the delight of Joe Mack and Tyler Phillips and others. You know, the one thing that if I understand correctly, that was a little bit worrisome. All right, there's the boys. Showtime. One of the things I heard about Marcy, they were a little bit worried through the struggles, his inability to catch up to a fastball. Like, that's kind of the starting point to get yourself back on track.
And that's a lot of timing.
And I say that because that was a fastball that he yanked into right. So that, I think that's probably all stuff that they're really encouraged by, if I were to guess. Leo Jimenez takes a curveball for a strike. Well, and here we go again. The Marlins have found a little insurance late in the game that they have a nice healthy lead in, but you can never have too much. Now it's out of slam range. Big high chopper right side. Another run is going to score. The throw to first is in time. Jimenez hits the deck. Rucker got to the bag, but that'll be an RBI ground out. Another run comes home for Miami. Now it's 8-2. Ruiz scores on the play. Marcy goes to second. Put out will go 3-1.
So much about making contact. You make contact, things just happen. Good job by Leo Jimenez. Made that a close play. Good job by the pitcher, Rucker, in getting over there and receiving the throw.
And that goes 4-1, by the way. That was the second baseman.
Looks like Jimenez is okay after that tumble at first, but he picks up another run.
Yeah. He's got 2 hits tonight and an RBI from your number 9 hitter. Where do you sign up for that?
You know, you talk about the games after the break in Milwaukee and then in Houston. And then when the Marlins return home, there'll be a couple of good series. San Diego in town for 3 games, and then the Philadelphia Phillies.
Playoff implications up and down the board there.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we go to Milwaukee. They currently have a 6-game lead in the division over the Cubs. Dodgers have I mean, the National League West that's over. 14-game lead for the Dodgers over the Padres in the National League West on July 9th. Of course, anything can happen, but that's.
Heck, right now, Dave Roberts is just trying to figure out his postseason rotation.
Yeah, he announced his rotation earlier today, actually. They've submitted the 26-man roster for the division series. That's crazy. Liam Hicks grounds one softly towards first. And that'll do it here in the 7th inning. But the Marlins get 2 more and lead 8-2.
Welcome back here to Lone Depot Park as the Marlins lead 8-2. I'm going to take a moment here to thank my friend and yours, Tommy Hutton, because Tommy, while you have several games left on the schedule here on the broadcast. The schedule indicates that this is our last game together. So I want to thank you as someone who grew up down here in South Florida for being the voice that's in my head for all of my favorite Marlins memories, and as someone who's been blessed enough to get to join you on this Marlins broadcast. I can't thank you enough for the laughs, the stories, the life lessons, and for tolerating some of the nonsense that I brought to this broadcast as well. So I love you. Don't feel the need to say it back, but I want to thank you on behalf of all of the kids who grew up learning from you and hearing you educate us and entertain us over the years on these Marlins broadcasts. So thank you, Tommy, for everything.
Jeremy, thank you. I love your energy and your hard work. So you keep doing that and you'll last a long time. It's been fun being around you.
And I think we are headed towards a very fun summer here in Miami.
Yeah.
Could probably always talk your way back, coming back next year. I told you, you'd be like the Ralph Kiner of the Marlins generation, huh? Just come back on Sundays or Friday nights. Give the people what they want. Oh, Fridays don't work because you golf all day, which is that's a tough day.
It's a tough drive. Tough drive too on Friday.
You know what? We'll pick this up after the break. You and I will.
Javi comes in to play third. Let's change the subject. How about William Kempner? He's had a pretty good introduction to his big league career.
He's been great.
Yeah.
He has been great. Oh, what's Rosarena doing? Timeout was not called. That's simply a ball. But I think Rosarena felt like the whole operation was taking too long. I think Kempner thought time was called, and we play on. It's 3-0. Oh, and Rosarena is just doing that. It's actually monkeying with Kempner a little bit, who just walked him on 4 pitches. All right.
Yeah, William Kempner in his 7 games, 10 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 11 strikeouts. And that right there, his 3rd walk.
And Daniel Moscas, very quick to come out.
Yeah, but I think this is good. This is to settle him down after what Rosarena did, stepping out.
That'll monkey with you a little bit.
Yeah, so you get his head back into it.
There's some veteran guys that will do that a little bit. Soto's another one that does that occasionally. Kind of like a 3-0 pitch or like a 2-0. So now Kempner will face Dominic Canzone, who singled in the 3rd.
All right, he's got him back in.
You know, I need to check because I feel like he has not pitched a whole lot here at home. It feels like all the appearances for Kempner have been on the road. It's his 4th appearance at home. Just feels like we've seen him a lot on the road this year. Missed a little bit low. Pretty good pitch there, though. Hit pretty well to center. Marcy's going back. 8-4. 15th home run of the season for Dominic Canzone. Good for the outright team lead.
Talked a little bit about it last night. This guy has always hit wherever he's been. The minor leagues, a .300 career hitter. And he continues to hit up here. And you know he's got some power. He took that fastball up in the zone, just went straight away to the berm in center field.
That's a moonshot too. It's a beautiful swing. We got that front foot down and just exploded through that baseball. Hey, here's the good news. That's why you get 2 insurance runs in the bottom of the 7th. If you don't get those 2 runs, it's a 6-4 game. There's a save in it, probably feeling a little uncomfortable. And that trident celebration may have been a little bit more hearty. Marlins still lead by 4. Let's see if Kempner can get 3 outs now. Cal Raleigh is 0 for 3.
Yeah, he actually came into this game tonight. He was 3 for 9 in the series with a couple of doubles.
Hey, by the way, Hud, it's the first runs that Kempner's allowed in the major leagues. First homer that he's allowed. He had literally been perfect. I had to triple check that, thinking to myself, boy, there haven't been many outings like this. There had never been one. He never allowed a run.
He'd gone 10 innings.
10 innings with 2 walks and 11 strikeouts. He's behind Raleigh. No, he's really behind him. He loses Raleigh, that bullpen phone might ring in a hurry. And it won't be Peterson, Fairbanks, or Gibson to get up. A walk, a 2-run homer, and a walk. Make sure you join us tomorrow when the Marlins take on the Guardians at 7:10, and stick around after the final out for postgame fireworks brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. And if you want the best view, you can purchase a special ticket package that includes game admission and on-field access to watch the fireworks up close. Get your tickets at marlins.com/USA Weekend. Marlins, at least on the mound and defensively, are hoping for no fireworks here down the stretch. And as we suspected, there is activity very quickly in that Marlins bullpen. And it's Calvin Fauché who's loosening in the pen. You've gotten 2 from Bacher. Here's Kempner, who still has an opportunity, I would at least imagine, to settle down and get himself through this frame, but we'll see. How about a double play ball off the bat of Naylor? Nothing in 2. A lot of these Mariners, of course, have never seen Kempner before. Maybe that gives him a bit of an upper hand if he can settle down. His misses are just bad here.
Yeah, it's a little different than what we've seen before.
Most of his misses very tight, just missing on the edges. Hard pitches to lay off of. You don't know if you should offer. These are missing badly. 1-2. Oh man, this is hit pretty well out towards left center, but Marcy's got room. It sounded pretty good off the bat. Might have gotten in on him just enough, and Kempner's got that elusive first out here in the 8th. I mean, ideally, you want Kempner to get through this so Fauché could take care of the 9th. I'm sure that's Clayton's line of thinking. Now you only have 1 lefty in the bullpen, and Gibson probably unavailable too.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, that because we saw how effective Cade Gibson was last night with this lineup that isn't very effective against lefties.
That's a base hit into center for Luke Raley. Raleigh will stop at second. Raley's got his second hit. And now it'll be Young. Ooh, how about this? Quick hook coming. Clayton is not going to risk it any further, and he's going to bring in Calvin Fauché, who had his own fair share of struggles on Tuesday night in Game 1 of this series. So for the first rough outing in the major leagues for Will Kempner, Calvin Fauché comes in when we return.
This is it.
Yeah. Show up to blow up and sew up the game. So what they pull up, but throw up a game. Told up to pull up, then roll up the flame. We want the good life, you know why we came. Don't know what we look like, but they know the name. Copy that lingo, cause they know the slang. We want the moolah, they want the fame. You want familiar, we not the same. Really, it's irrelevant, we were showing intelligence. Rhyme through your resident, looking just like a pelican. Everyday competitive, everyday repetitive. If you're not trying to proceed, you just settle in. Nah, that was irrational, really not natural. We was in the national, really trying to get this dough.
8-4 Marlins, but it's getting interesting here in the top of the 8th. Cole Young is facing Calvin Fauché, who worked 1 inning on Tuesday, but as a part of that inning, he faced 7 Mariners and allowed 2 runs, both earned on 2 hits with 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And the beginning ask here is to get the final 2 outs of the 8th. Young went around on a cutter. It's 0-2.
Yeah, you got to take care of business right here in this inning, and then worry about the 9th in the 9th.
Yeah, exactly. We'll worry about that when we get there. Young drew a walk against Fauché on Tuesday night. Who's ahead of him this time? 0-2. Fauché's ERA sitting at .462. A couple of blow-ups, excuse me, have been responsible for that. In particular, that 4-run outburst, and he only got the 1 out in Colorado on July 2nd. Ground ball to second. Edwards spins, fires. There's 1. The return throw not in time. Fielder's choice ground out goes 4-6. There's the 2nd out of the inning. Good start for Calvin Fauché.
Were really nicely done by Xavier Edwards. You know, you got a feeling when you make this pick that you're not going to get a double play. So just make sure you make a good throw to Otto and get that out at second base. And all that was done just right. Got a runner, runs well. It wasn't really a double play ball, so you make sure you get the out.
Victor Robles behind the count, 0-1. A little late on a Calvin Fauché cutter. Robles 0 for 3 in this game with 1 strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. The balls he has put in play have been to the shortstop position. And Lopez is deep in the hole at short. It's 0-2. For Fauché's struggles here in the month of July, he is coming off a 12 appearance June in which he worked to a 1.42 ERA. Hit softly out to second. X has got it. Side retired. Nicely done by Fauché. 8-4 Marlins. This copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority, the Miami Marlins, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. It has been a party for the Marlins since the beginning of June. It is always a party out on Ocean Drive. Bottom 8. Scoreboard brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Marlins leading 8-4 on the strength of 12 hits. So they're doubling up the Mariners in the run column. They're doubling them up in the hit column. And everybody's committed a couple of errors.
You know, I saw in that video we had there, you still have your parking spot saved.
Yes.
So, you know, whatever time you get there,
they know.
No problem.
When the big guy rolls up, move the cone. He's home. Lopez facing Wilcox, the right-hander out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Otto Lopez 1 for 3 in this game. (3-0). Our Toyota trend here tonight, 30+ hits to left, center, and right. Otto and X leading the charge. And there is ball 4. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but you get a couple of back if you're the Mariners. You're within slam range. Not exactly ideal to walk the leadoff guy. What an even distribution there for Otto. And maybe an even better distribution for Edwards. 35 to left, 32 to center, 35 to right. So if he's going to start to pull even with his hits to left and right, X should just knock one into center field right here.
Well, it's no fair to show that with X because he's a switch hitter.
That's true.
But with Otto, it just shows how incredibly consistent he has been all year. Maintained his average, 1 for 3 tonight, stays at 345. And we told you the other night, there are only about 10 or 11 guys in the major leagues, 2 in the American League, that are hitting over 300. And Otto's at 345.
A total throwback season for Otto, given the way that the game is played today with all the slug and the homers and stuff, just to see what he's done. By the way, we showed you that shot of Dan Wilson. How many opposing managers these days are so happy one way or another to see Game 3 to come to a close against the Marlins? Or Game 4, there's some 4-game series. Speaking about guys pulling their hair out, I mean, when you're done playing a series against the Marlins, whether it went poorly or moderately well, you must get on the plane and think to yourself, thank goodness. Because it's an exhausting
I guarantee you have a lot of guys getting on that plane saying, you know, those guys are pretty good.
I agree. Hey, if this somehow gets the Griffin Conine, he's a triple shy of the cycle. He's 4 batters away. The Marlins record versus the American League West this season. Still waiting on the Astros and Angels. Clobbered the A's. Good series against the Rangers. On the verge of sweeping the Mariners. Edwards slaps this foul down the left field line.
You know, speaking of the Angels, they do come to town early August, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and I saw where Mike Trout is back off the injured list and hit a home run, his 18th home run of the year.
Will he be with the Angels when we see him?
By the way, that's career home run number 422 for Mike Trout.
Even amidst an injury-riddled last half-decade, he's still a surefire first-ballot Hall of Famer. As Edwards hits that one out towards the gap in left center. Rosarena closes the distance on it, and he makes the catch. Seriously, you think Mike Trout will get traded or no?
You know, it's all up to him, because I think there have been chances when the Angels have thought about that, and he's always wanted to stay in Anaheim. So to answer that, no, I don't think he'll get traded.
The one place I always thought he'd be it would be a great place for him would obviously be close to home in Philadelphia, but you just never feel any type of inclination that it's interesting. It's like he's interested in really going to a contender.
Well, and if he did get traded, the Angels would have to pick up a good part of the contract.
Sure. And now they're under the direction of John Mozeliak, who's just kind of like guiding him through a transition period. As Stowers swings and misses. He has struck out twice tonight. He's 1 for 4. He also has an RBI single. That was back in the 4th. Marlins do have activity in the bullpen. I thought maybe they would try to ride Fauché to a 5-out save. It would have been his 2nd of his career. And, well, there's Tyler Zuber, who remember his first save of his major league career. As Stowers bounces that sharply to 2nd. That's going to end the inning. Zuber's other save in his career, not one in it, was that big one for Fairbanks.
I'm Jack.
Miami Marlins baseball is presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Oh, a big night for the Marlins again. They will pummel you into submission. And we are witnessing it once again here tonight. Okay, no save in it. But you might as well just consider this a safe situation for Tyler Zuber. It's a 4-run advantage here. Still within slam range are the Mariners. And I was half-heartedly telling you they're going to commercial break. You know, the one save that Zuber has this year, the one in his career. Remember how much it meant last month when he picked up Fairbanks in that huge situation here. But you know, Zuber's done a nice job in his own right, and this is an opportunity here The final 3 outs of the game mean something, and they're not easy for everybody. So he can make a little impression if this is clean. Interesting start. Leadoff single. Now get yourself a double play ball.
Well, he's going to be featuring his four-seamer and sweeper and slider.
Here is J.P. Crawford. So Calvin Fauché has worked more than an inning 5 different times this season. He's worked 2 innings twice. Are you intrigued at all by the decision here to send out Zuber after just a handful of pitches for Fauché?
No, because I also think you have to even look ahead to the series against the Guardians over the weekend.
Fair enough.
Probably why we didn't see Bacher for a 3rd inning.
Probably right.
Also.
Probably right. Crawford lays off a sweeper 1 and 2.
It's kind of a catch-22. I know you have to manage a game to win this game right now, but there are times you have to think about the weekend or the next series.
I hear you. You're absolutely right. Remember, the Marlins are without challenges in the event they really wanted to use one here in the 9th. That is not an available asset to them. Crawford 0 for 3 and waits on a 2-2. Struck him out. Boy, he was not looking for that sinker, obviously. That was a blazing sinker at 94.
Boy, that was just a perfect pitch. And J.P. Crawford probably can't wait to get over to the other coast. Take on the Rays. 0 for 4 tonight. Just got frozen.
Can I help you? Nope, just looking. Here's the Rosarena. Swing. He's 1 for 2, couple of walks, solo homer, 2 runs scored. Good night at the yard here for Randy. The Randy man waits on an 0-1, and he flies this one into right field. Esteri Ruiz is underneath it. There's 2 out here in the 9th. Marlins an out away from their 7th sweep of the year. And here is Canzone, who homered in the 8th. There's ball 1. Runner will take second on indifference. Junk in line for a win. Bacher, Kempner, Fauché, and Zuber after that. Marlins trying to hang a loss here on Bryce Miller. 1-0. Swing at a fly ball in the air left field over Griffin Conine. It is the 7th sweep of this season for the Marlins, who have now won 16 of their last 18 games here at Lone Depot Park. And at a point in juncture this season, about 5 weeks ago when they were 8 under, the Miami Marlins are now 10 games over 500 for the first time since July of 2023.
You and I talked about it at the very beginning of the game in our open. We talked about sweeping a series isn't easy. And it isn't easy against a first place team, the Seattle Mariners. It isn't easy against a guy who was their ace, Bryce Miller. The Marlins, I thought, had great at-bats early in the game against Miller. He was out of sorts a little because he walked 4. Generally, he's all over the strike zone. Things got going with Griffin Conine's home run. They battled away, put together some big hits in the 4th inning. The big triple by Otto Lopez, scored 4 runs in that inning. And then the way Clayton McCullough pieced things together with the pitching staff. I'm sure he hoped that he was going to get 5 innings out of Jansen Junk. He did. It didn't look like he would the way things started. Got 2 nice innings from Bacher. Kepner came in, struggled a little bit, got bailed out by Fauché, and a nice 9th inning by Zuber. What a nice night. What a nice sweep of the Seattle Mariners.
Something else to keep an eye on. Marlins have a chance, should they get to 53 wins, now 1 shy, to tie the franchise record for the most wins before the All-Star break. They had 53 wins in 2023 at the break. It's the most ever wins at home before the All-Star break. And the Marlins have won 16 of their last 20 games, which ties the best 20-game span in Marlins history. So many contributors, including the fans, man, including these fans, who we encourage all of you, if you have the opportunity to do so, to show up, because I'll tell you what, those players love it when you're behind their photographs every single night. They love your support, and if you can, please come out to Lone Depot Park this weekend to support Major League Baseball's best team. Period. Hard stop. End of story.
Yeah, you hear people brag about their team. You live in Miami. You live in Miami, and you got the best team in baseball right now, the way they're playing. So hopefully some more fans will come out this weekend.
I would love to hear from an all-star, and one is waiting with Jeremy.
Thanks, Kyle. Here with the all-star Otto Lopez. And Otto, tonight you set the Marlins record for the most hits before the all-star game. What was it like for you as you round second, head toward third, and are able to take in that moment with Blake Lally and these fans here in the ballpark?
I would first thank God for everything he got me this year. Like, it's all been like a good road, and I'm proud of myself. And I would say running those bases, thinking about like all the good things that I've been doing, it's amazing. I feel so excited. For the team too, we're doing pretty well.
How have you been able to maintain this consistency throughout the year, night in, night out, whether it's multiple hits or just coming to the ballpark and getting one? How have you stayed so steady?
I will put on discipline. Every time I come here, I know I'm working hard. I know what I'm doing, and like just performing what I've been doing. Like just those little things that I've been working on, I just keep continuing to work on.
Well, tonight that triple that set the record was in a string of hits for this team. There was great base running, all the little things for you guys on offense. How is this game an example of the way that you guys like to play the game?
From last year, I will put it there. How about that? Last year we just missed by a little, and we coming from this year like from reminds of those past in the year, and I would say just bring this year, play. Have fun. We having fun every time we hit the ball, and like we trying to have as much as possible fun, and it's been working. Like I would say,
it's been a lot of fun to watch. Otto, congratulations again, back-to-back sweeps for the team, and a brand new franchise record for Otto Lopez. So many great moments in this first half, guys. That's about as good as any of them.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Terrific interview there. Final score: Marlins 8, Mariners 4. The beat goes on. The boys are rolling. Come on out to Lone Depot Park tomorrow night. Next telecast tomorrow on the air at 6:45. Post-game coverage coming up next for Tommy Hutton and Jeremy Taché, our director Brad Durston, our producer John Sulser. I'm Kyle Seelaw. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. The winning Marlins post-game show is coming up next.